Just what did you see from your offense and especially Jalen and his ability to kind of work with a limited clock against Vanderbilt?
I think the message for the players is anytime you don't win, you didn't do well enough. And so our job as an offense is to score one more point than the opponent, and we didn't do that this past Saturday, and so collectively very disappointed in that. We got to take advantage of the opportunities that we do get and capitalize on those, and we had more than enough opportunities to score more points, and we weren't able to do that. So there are a lot of plays that you're proud of, that the guys did a nice job and executed, but certainly we fell short in finding a way to win the game.
Emily Grace.
Coach, how much did your game management / plan get affected when the defense was unable to get off the field?
I think that's our job, just to take advantage of the opportunities we get, and the possessions where we didn't execute, they were very costly in the game. And you can't turn the football over. You have to flip the field when you're backed up. And we weren't able to do that in those moments. And, that was ultimately the difference in the game. And so, those are the areas that we need to do a better job of maintaining the execution throughout the course of the game. And we're working, tirelessly to solve those issues.
Go, Matt.
Yeah, just what did they do well to limit Jalen's kind of rushing ability in that game?
We didn't run him as much. I would say just, he had the one touchdown run in the red area, and just kind of how the flow of the game went. Some of the different things that we did, the ball just went to other people. And so that's just kind of how the flow of the game went, and kind of the plays that we called and the plays that we were executing. They weren't necessarily designed for him to run. There was a couple of them that he popped through there, and the other ones were more, kind of off-schedule scramble type situations. So there weren't that many opportunities for him to run, and we didn't, call as many as maybe we've had throughout the, course of a game. But that's just kind of how the game unfolded.
Stay in the middle here. Let's go, Mike.
What went into Gino coming into the game at right guard, and how do you think he played?
I just kind of echoed just what I said earlier. Anytime you don't win, nobody played good enough, nobody coached good enough, and I'm not saying specifically Gino. I just think collectively as a whole, you take accountability. We're going to continue to put the players in the game that deserve to play, that have earned that in practice, to try to maximize the group. And there's different reasons for that, and that's why. And so we thought Gino deserved an opportunity to play. And so he went in there and like the rest of the group, did some nice things, but obviously not good enough collectively.
Coach, when the clock hit 0 for the loss, what have you seen since then with some of your leaders on the offense side of the ball to kind of step up in a hard time after this loss to Vanderbilt?
Well, we'll see tomorrow more specifically. Obviously we had a chance to be around the players yesterday and on the trip back, and early impressions were they were outstanding. And I think it reveals the character of who they are, which is excellent. And certainly, the week of prep will continue to give them opportunities to lead in the way that I know that they will. And so I fully expect them to respond and, continue to improve, learn from the errors and the mistakes, and move forward and be excited about competing this Saturday.
Jump to the left side, Steven.
Coach, there was an early, pick six in that ball game, but when Jalen came to the sideline, what was his demeanor like as you were talking to him talking to you, trying to flush that and move on?
Well, I was up in the box, so obviously I didn't see him face to face, but certainly there was communication, and he was great. He was, able to be 1-0 and move forward, and it was the third play of the game. There was a lot of football left. I'm pretty sure we were able to respond and score a touchdown the next drive, if I remember correctly. So I thought his response was great, and he kept playing, and executed and did his job. So I didn't think that impacted him at all.
Go to Alex in the left middle here.
Just philosophically, how do you think about time of possession, if that's a stat you even concern yourself with? And on the flip side of that, what do you think is holding back the running game specific to Haynes and Miller from having maybe more consistent success?
I think the game Saturday was a little bit unique that way relative to running the football. We did put ourselves in a hole early, and we were playing a little bit of catch up throughout the game, and so we didn't get as many opportunities to run the football as maybe we were anticipating. Because I do think that there were some moments where we ran the ball well, and Jam had some good runs, and Justice had some good runs. It just kind of was the course of the game and how it was going. And so, I think that's a point of emphasis, to be more efficient and effective running the football. But I also know that, you have to do whatever's required in the game to try to score points and win. And each game can kind of unfold, a different way. And that's just kind of how the game went, on Saturday. So.
Got time for a couple more questions, starting left side of Colin.
Hey, Nick, how would you assess kind of the progress over that Jam Miller, Justice Haynes have made over the course of the first 5 games? How have they helped your offense? Would you like, how do they kind of complement what Jalen Miller in the past game is doing through the first 5?
I think they've both been effective and super helpful in our offense, and I know that will continue to be the case. It's a long season. There's lots of football to still be had, and obviously, they both have had some great moments and found the end zone and helped us. There's no doubt, and I also think they're doing a great job without the ball as well. Some of the perimeter runs that they're involved in blocking, they've been outstanding. Some of the blitz pickup and their eye discipline has been outstanding, and so those are 2 great players, and their attitude's been great, their work ethic's been great, and I know they're going to keep improving and taking advantage of the opportunities that they get. And so we're happy with where they're at, and just like I mentioned, with everybody else, nobody did well enough, and so I know for everybody, not just those guys, but every position, every coach knows that you got to do better, and find a way to win. And so that's kind of been the message. And I would just say, you asked about time of possession. I didn't answer that. I think ultimately, you want to be in control of the game, and you do that by executing and getting first downs. And so I think some of the lopsidedness relative to that was the 4 possessions where we didn't execute. That would have allowed us to have more opportunities, more plays, and more time of possession. So, I think at the end of the day, you want to be in control of the game. If you score fast, that's part of it. You're not going to stop the guys from doing that. We've had a lot of short scoring drives this season, which sometimes, can, sway the clock one way or the other. But I certainly think you want to be in control of the game and be able to execute and get first downs.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks. Roll Tide.